At some point, most people stop trying to be disciplined, not because they don't want to improve, but because they're tired of starting over and feeling stupid for it. You plan the week. You promise yourself you'll keep it simple. Then life gets in the way, you skip one day, and suddenly the whole thing feels pointless. So the problem isn't discipline. It's the way we've been told to think about it. Discipline isn't about pushing harder or wanting it more. It's about setting things up so you don't have to fight yourself every day. And that's what this video was about. 4 small shifts that change how discipline actually works, especially if consistency has never been your strong point. None of this is extreme. None of it is motivational. It's just practical, and it explains why some people stay consistent without burning out. Discipline isn't actually the hard part. What's hard is the way it makes you feel about yourself when you don't have it. Most people don't avoid discipline because they're lazy. They avoid it because every attempt comes with pressure. You tell yourself, this time I'll do it right. You go all in, you miss a day, and suddenly it feels like you proved something ugly about yourself. So you stop. Not because you don't care, but because trying feels worse than quitting. That's where this starts. Not with hype, not with motivation, but with understanding why discipline feels heavier than it should. The first thing that messes people up is thinking discipline is a personality trait. Like some people are just built different, organized, focused, consistent, and everyone else just has to try harder. That belief sits quietly in the background, but it changes everything. Because once you believe discipline isn't you, every failure feels personal. But discipline isn't who you are. It's what you repeat. People don't act based on what they want. They act based on what feels normal to them. If getting up early, focusing, or sticking to a plan doesn't feel like you, your brain pushes back. Not because you're weak, but because humans protect identity. That's why forcing motivation never works long term. You're trying to overpower yourself. The shift is smaller than people expect. Instead of saying, I'm trying to be disciplined, you start saying, I show up even in small ways. Not because it sounds strong, but because it's believable. Identity doesn't change through thinking. It changes through proof. And proof starts small. This is where most people sabotage themselves without realizing it. They aim big because they want to feel serious. An hour at the gym, perfect focus, no days off, no mistakes. Then real life happens. They miss a day or two. And instead of adjusting, they mentally quit. Discipline turns into disappointment. But discipline isn't built through intensity. It's built through consistency. Research backs this up. Small actions repeated over time build more trust than big actions done once. So instead of asking yourself to do more, you stop asking yourself to be impressive. You make the habit small enough that skipping feels harder than starting. 1 push-up, 1 page, 5 minutes. Not because it's impressive, because it's repeatable. Every time you show up to something small, you send yourself a quiet message. I keep my word. And that message adds up over time. Another reason discipline doesn't stick is because it feels emotionally cold. There's no feedback, no payoff, just effort. Your brain doesn't work that way. It runs on reward, not logic, not future benefits. Now, if effort never feels good in the moment, your brain learns to avoid it. That's not a motivation issue. That's biology. So instead of treating discipline like punishment, you give it something human, a small reward, a signal, a moment of acknowledgement. Something that tells your brain this wasn't for nothing. It doesn't have to be big. A habit tracker, a quiet sense of progress, a routine you enjoy while doing the work. The point isn't the reward, it's the association. You're teaching your brain that showing up is safe, that it's not pain with no return. Then there's the decision problem, which most people never notice. Every day you ask yourself, should I do it today? You drain mental energy. Decision fatigue is real. By the end of the day, the brain is tired, and tired brains don't choose discipline. People who look consistent aren't more motivated. They've removed choice. Same time, same setup, same trigger. When something doesn't require thinking, it doesn't require willpower. If discipline feels hard, don't judge yourself. Look at your setup. Your environment is either making things easier or harder, whether you notice it or not. And here's the part people don't like admitting. Discipline feels emotional because of memory. Every failed attempt left a mark. So starting again feels risky. Not because you're lazy, but because you're protecting yourself from feeling disappointed again. That's why the real shift isn't becoming perfect. It's becoming reliable, boring. Someone who shows up in small ways even when it doesn't feel exciting. This is how discipline actually forms, quietly, without drama. One day, showing up feels normal, skipping feels strange, effort feels neutral instead of heavy. That's when discipline stops being something you chase and becomes something you do.